talks in Vienna. The OSCE Ministerial Council has placed the South Caucasus peace process among the year's key developments, with several high-level bilateral exchanges taking place on the sidelines. Turkey's foreign minister held brief talks with his Armenian counterpart, while Azerbaijan's foreign minister met the OSCE Secretary General to discuss the ongoing Baku-Yerevan negotiations. Joining me to discuss is Leon Cook. He's founder of the Atticus Partners. Leon, thanks for joining us on the program.
Good evening, pleased to be with you.
Now, what does it tell us that the OSCE has named the South Caucasus peace process as one of the year's key developments? Is it a sign of growing international confidence in the direction of negotiations, perhaps?
I think they're trying to look for good news stories, and the state of play between Azerbaijan and Armenia is probably one of them. The fact that through the course of the last couple of days and this conference, the formal closure of the Minsk process has actually occurred, following the calling for it after the August 8 agreement in the United States in Washington. The state of play between Azerbaijan and Armenia has probably never been better. They are actually talking to each other. They're working towards the formal resolution of an end to this conflict in every meaningful way. That would include also the fundamental build of the Zangezur segment, the corridor between Azerbaijan and Nakhchivan, which at that point relations between Armenia and Turkey get discussed. So it is a regional win, but I think the OSCE, given everything else that is happening in the world, certainly in terms of Israel, Gaza, and what is happening in Ukraine, they need something good to look at.
Okay. And the OSCE Ministerial Council is not where major breakthroughs usually happen, but it often shapes the diplomatic atmosphere. How significant is the Vienna context for the region right now? Leon, can you hear me okay?
I missed your last part. Please repeat the last part if possible.
Oh, sure. So the OSCE Ministerial Council is not where major breakthroughs usually happen, but it often shapes diplomatic atmosphere. So how significant is Vienna, the Vienna context for the region right now?
It is relevant in that it is an opportunity. It's one of the largest gatherings for foreign ministers and nation states to come together and discuss regional security. So as a result of that, it should absolutely be taken seriously. But if you consider that, you know, the fundamental principles enshrined in the Helsinki Final Act include respect for sovereignty of states, territorial integrity, the non-use of force, and respect for human rights, given everything else that is going on in the world, certainly regionally, Ukraine being a case in point, it becomes a little bit moot. Where the OSCE absolutely does work is regional monitoring and what is happening in granular detail on the ground. But the idea that this is a conference that can compete with the likes of NATO, what is happening within the European Union, and or the unilateral decision-making that is we're witnessing and taking place out of the United States at the moment, it is not the only game in town. In fact, it's a lesser player.
Okay, and with global attention stretched by multiple crises, as you said earlier, how notable is it that the South Caucasus remains firmly on the OSCE agenda?
Well, I think that if you think about the Minsk Group, for example, was created in 1992. So it's been in existence for 27 years. And the formal ending of it denotes a chapter, the end of what was a very painful one between Azerbaijan and Armenia, that is now looking at sunlit uplands and brighter days for the citizens of both of those countries. And so it is quite obvious and understandable that why it continues to be part of the agenda and why it is being discussed in Vienna. And the South Caucasus has always been, you know, a gateway between two parts of the world, from Central Asia and Asia, and connecting up with the Middle East and us here in Europe. So what happens in the South Caucasus absolutely matters. What happens in Azerbaijan matters. It is, you know, doing very well economically, and that can be an example and model to other countries regionally.
And Turkey's foreign minister and Armenia's foreign minister held brief talks on the sidelines. What weight should we give to these short but symbolic encounters in this context? What's your analysis?
I think it's important that they continue to talk to each other, but the reconciliation or the formal rapprochement between Turkey and Armenia cannot happen, or Turkey has always pledged that it cannot happen without a formal ending of all issues between Azerbaijan and Armenia. So that is also one of the reasons why Ceyhun Bayramov, the foreign minister of Azerbaijan, was stressing the importance of Armenia renouncing all of its constitutional references to territorial claims vis-à-vis Karabakh for a lasting peace process to be able to conclude and continue. So the amendment of the constitution, which of course is problematic in Armenia in many political circles, is, I think, still the main sticking point that will allow domino rally hereafter, were it to be solved, lots of other problems to go away.
Okay, so how do Turkish-Armenian contacts intersect with the broader Azerbaijan-Armenia peace track, do you think? Are they running in parallel, or are they increasingly linked?
They're absolutely linked, and yes, running in parallel. It would not surprise me to see a trilateral at some point in the not too distant future between either the leaders of those three countries or the foreign ministers of those three countries. I think that's probably what everyone is hoping for, the next evolution of this, whereby the three countries can come together, can think about economic partnership in addition to civil society engagement and partnership and exchange. But as I said before, that Azerbaijan and Armenia need to conclude their affairs before Turkey and Armenia can start to look at changing what has been a 100-year-long issue between the two countries, going back to the alleged genocide.
Okay. Leon, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to have to wrap it up there. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.